So it looks like even more Lucasfilm employees have been attacking Star Wars fans, and obviously, if you've been following this channel, if you've been following Disney Star Wars for any time at all, you already know that this is a normal thing for Lucasfilm employees to do, for Star Wars employees to do. They always attack fans on Twitter, on other social media sites, if you disagree with the content that they're creating, if you have any kind of opinion that isn't Disney Star Wars is great, everything that Lucasfilm creates is great, then they will come after you on social media. They're not shy about it, but whenever Gina Carano tweets something that questions the reality of the social constructs that everyone has created, then she gets fired. It doesn't make any sense, but it's the world that we have to live in. It's the Lucasfilm that people like Kathleen Kennedy have created and all of the rest of her disciples have created. It's the atmosphere that I don't know how anyone that works under Lucasfilm that's trying to make good content under Lucasfilm, that's trying to make Star Wars content, people like John and Dave, I don't know how they function. I don't know how they can continue to create good content under these circumstances, under these people like Kathleen Kennedy that have created this atmosphere, this culture. It doesn't make much sense to me. And I'm sure a lot of you have already seen what's going on with this James Mangold situation. I'm sure you already know what's happening, but we also have more Lucasfilm employees that are not only backing up James Mangold, but also taking all of his statements to the next level, saying that they support him. And it's people that have gone after fans in the past and even gone after Star Wars Theory in the past whenever the Pablo Hidalgo situation went down. And he said some really bad things about Star Wars Theory. I got really mad whenever he talked about Star Wars Theory on Twitter a while back, made videos on that as well. He pretty much discredited the fact that Star Wars Theory went through cancer treatment and beat cancer. That guy Jordan Mason is a waste of oxygen, and he has also been attacking fans on Twitter recently too. And I know in this video I'm supposed to come out here, everyone expects for me to come out here and just trash on Lucasfilm, say everything bad about Lucasfilm. Star Wars sucks, Disney Star Wars sucks, Kathleen Kennedy sucks, she needs to get out of there, all of these Lucasfilm employees suck for attacking fans on Twitter. But that's not what I'm going to do. Surprisingly, I have a different opinion than most people do on this topic, than most of the people that I've seen on Twitter. A lot of people are just, farming clicks. I'm not going to lie to you. They're farming retweets. They're farming likes. They're being fake outraged over this. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. And I don't think a lot of people are going to expect what I think. But let's check out what this original tweet was from Matthew Kadish from the Salty Nerd podcast. He tweets out something that I just don't understand why people are tweeting stuff like this. But I'm not going to judge it yet. Let's check out everything that James Mangold had to say about it. Let's check out everything that Matthew Kadish had to say about it. He says, to anyone thinking Indiana Jones 5 might be good, just let me point out, 1, Steven Spielberg is not directing, 2, Kathleen Kennedy is producing, 3, Harrison Ford is 78 years old, and 4, it's written by Jonathan Kasdan, who wrote Solo, which I don't really think Solo is that horrible, but that's not what this video is about. And James Mangold himself, if you don't know who James Mangold is, he is actually the director for Indiana Jones 5. So James Mangold obviously is searching up the Indiana Jones 5 hashtag and replying to tweets about it. And honestly, yeah, it doesn't look too professional from James Mangold. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looks a little bit like he's kind of insecure about his movie. That's kind of what it looks like. But at the same time, I can't really blame him 100%. Let's check out what he had to say. He says, thanks, Matt. 1, keep making the world a better place, crapping on things in the first week of production from your basement. Now, I don't understand why you have to add in the from your basement thing. That kind of implies that everyone who cares about your movie is living in a basement. Anyone who's making content about your movies or stating their opinions to the public about your movies is living in a basement. It doesn't make much sense at all why you would say that, but it is what it is. He says, 2, never seen a script by John, talking about Kasdan. Nothing against him, just reality. Brotherworks and I started from a blank page. And 3, 1 through 3 are hugely talented and all at my side. So he's talking about Kathleen Kennedy and Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford. What I don't agree with this tweet right here from Matthew Kadish, and I once again, I mean no disrespect to anyone involved in this, to James Mangold, to Matthew Kadish. I don't mean any disrespect when I say stuff like this. I just cannot keep my mouth closed. I cannot form my opinion around what the general public wants me to say. I refuse to do that. I'm going to say what I'm actually thinking about this, but I don't like these types of tweets where you're trying to, it's okay if you don't like this movie before it comes out. I don't agree with that way of thinking, but it's okay. That's fine. If you want to make up your decision before a movie comes out, a week into the filming, like James Mangold says, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. I'm not going to try to stop you. But whenever you try to shove your opinion down others' throats, is kind of what my channel is all about. It's kind of like my entire channel is trying to fight back against people doing this type of thing right here, where he says, to anyone thinking Indiana Jones 5 might be good, just let me point out. So he's trying to, it's not okay. It's not enough for him to dislike the movie before it starts filming or before, a week into the filming. He also has to make everyone else who is looking forward to the movie also dislike the movie before the filming is finished. And I don't like that type of thing. I'm not totally against James Mangold doing what he did, but what it does make James Mangold look like is that he's insecure about his movie. The fact that he's actively seeking out these tweets, searching up the hashtags, about his movie and replying to tweets like this, it shows that he's not too confident in his movie. That's my opinion. He then replies again to Matthew Kadish and says, "Have you read the script, Matt? Clearly not, because you don't even know who wrote it. So why don't you take a rest on my show till there's a trailer or a title or something for you to be upset about? For all you know, I could be addressing all your worries. I'm sorry you were finding it hard to get excited about the film I am making, Matt. Considering you don't know the story, the script, the title, only some of the cast, nor have you seen images, if I were you, I would spend my time flipping hot takes about something that exists." Now, from all I know, I haven't really watched too much of the Salty Nerd podcast, but from what I know, they're not extremely negative people. Like, they actually do talk about positive things, which is a little bit rare in this YouTube space for people to actually talk about positive things. So I don't think they're the type of people that just make up hot takes for clicks. I really don't think so. But I can see why James Mangold would assume that, because that's what a lot of people around here do. A lot of people just like to complain for clicks. Like that's just what they do, and whatever. Like, I'm not trying to call anyone out. I'm just saying that's what a lot of people do around here. And like this guy says right here, those guys hate everything. Their fans expect it, so that's what they give them. You should see the crap that they spew about Star Wars. Let's just say they're not fans of girls having lightsabers. That's exactly what James Mangold thinks of everyone in this space too, because let's face it, a lot of people out there are just going to complain no matter what content is created. They just like to complain because that's their brand and they can't get off brand. But in terms of this James Mangold situation, I don't agree with that original tweet from Matthew Kadish. As you can see right here, I just don't like these types of tweets where it's not enough for you to have an opinion, for you to dislike a movie before it even starts filming or a week into production, whatever you want to say. That's okay. You can have that opinion, but I don't like when you try to force that down other people's throats. Like I said, I don't think these guys are super negative. I just think he feels very strongly about Indiana Jones. But whenever you tweet stuff out like that, you can't be mad whenever they come after you. Whenever the director of this movie that's working very hard to make a good movie, I'm sure. Now, James Mangold, he's kind of a lunatic when it comes to Twitter, and I'll show you a couple of tweets in a second. He's kind of a lunatic. So he's not just like a totally normal person, a normal dude that just got really offended over a tweet. He's kind of a lunatic when it comes to Twitter. He has TDS an insane amount. Whenever you tweet something like this, you got to be able to deal with the repercussions. And Matthew Kadish really didn't play the victim at all. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of other people were acting like Matthew Kadish was a victim, and I just think that they're trying to farm retweets and likes, honestly. But sometimes I get the impression from the Star Wars fandom, especially on Twitter, that they keep poking the bear. It's like a little brother just messing with a big brother, and then as soon as the big brother turns around and just tells the little brother to stop or just slaps him in the face, you know, does something a little bit out of hand, a little bit out of line, like James Mangold. That's not too professional. But at some point, you're going to stand up for yourself. If you're James Mangold and people are attacking your movie over and over again when it hasn't come out yet, for one, and they're only a week into production. So it's like the little brother picking on the older brother, and then when the older brother finally retaliates, they go tell their mom, they go run to mommy. It's like, what do you expect when you attack these movies that you haven't seen yet? Whatever. Let's move on to the Jordan Mason stuff. So shout out to Ryan Cannell from RK Outpost. He got this screenshot from Jordan Mason. Like I said, I'll show you some tweets later on in the video where he attacked Star Wars theory and pretty much discredited the fact that he survived cancer, that he got through cancer treatment, which really made me mad. Like I said, made a bunch of videos on it whenever that happened. That really made me mad whenever that first happened. But let's check out what RK Outpost had to say about this. Former Star Wars writer and artist Jordan Mason, who of course has me blocked, cheering on a Lucasfilm director's public Twitter meltdown against fans. Can't say I'm surprised. Me neither, man. Jordan Mason has been doing this for a long time. He hates us. He hates Star Wars fans, unless you just love everything that Star Wars has ever created. But if you have a different opinion, he absolutely hates you. But Jordan Mason said, seeing Mangold tell geeks and gamers chodes to get effed is making my Indiana Jones 5 hype even greater. So the fact that James Mangold came after fans in a very unprofessional way, like I said, don't agree with the original tweet for the thread, but it was very unprofessional for James Mangold to come after fans in the way he did. At some point, like I said, you got to expect it, but at the same time, it just looks very unprofessional for James Mangold to do that. And it also makes you look very insecure about your movie that you're creating, because if you were very secure, if you were very confident in your movie, you're probably not going to attack fans on Twitter for trying to discredit the movie before it comes out, before we see any images or trailers like he said. You're probably just going to let your film, let the trailers, let the images do the talking for you. And then Jordan Mason posts another screenshot and makes fun of geeks and gamers for posting a video about the Indiana Jones 5 director trashing fans over political opinions. And really quick, before this video gets too long, here is Jordan Mason back during the Pablo Hidalgo versus Star Wars theory situation, laughing at the Variety article that was written about it. And he pretty much says that the fact that Variety wrote an article about a YouTuber's feelings being hurt and turning into clickbait was funny. And then this Star Wars fan responds to Jordan Mason and says, show some decorum, man. The guy's battling cancer for Christ's sake, and your response is LOL. Wow, the nerve of some people. And then Jordan Mason says this: I think it is effing clear as it stands. The whole situation is ridiculous. Also, get your facts straight. He's a cancer survivor and already battled it. Not to mention the fact that this has nothing to do with this performance of his. So not only does he discredit the fact that Star Wars Theory had cancer, but he also says that him crying at the Luke reveal in The Mandalorian was a performance. Now, I'm no expert on Hollywood actors or actresses, but I think that if Star Wars Theory was that good of an actor, he would probably have a role in Hollywood right now. He probably wouldn't be a Star Wars YouTuber. He'd probably be acting in Star Wars films. And I think a lot of the true Star Wars fans out there would be acting in Star Wars films as well, because I think a lot of us reacted very similarly to Star Wars Theory at that moment. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about this whole situation. Let me know what you think about James Mangold sticking up for his movie in a very unprofessional way, but at the same time, he is just trying to stick up for his movie that a lot of people are on Twitter attacking before the movie even gets finished with filming. So let me know what you guys think about this whole situation, and also the Jordan Mason stuff. Just let me know what you think about this entire situation in the comments below. But if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both of those links will be in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.